I will call on the next speaker, the Honourable Minister of Indigenous Relations.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm pleased to stand today in response to the speech from the throne by Her Honour the Lieutenant Governor, and to take this opportunity to speak to the experiences and values that brought me to stand for election in the fine constituency of Edmonton-Rutherford. I have heartfelt gratitude to the residents of Edmonton-Rutherford for their support of my candidacy and for setting the record in the election for the greatest improvement in percentage vote for any party in a single riding in the spring election. I intend to honour your faith in me through hard work and to ensure that the values and policies you supported will be reflected in the work of this new Democratic-led government. And thank you to all the members of this House for electing me to the position of Deputy Chair of Committees earlier in the year. I believe that my time in that position provided me with learnings that will assist me in my role as MLA for Edmonton-Rutherford. I would also like to thank the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker for all their support and kindness toward me during my time as Deputy Chair of Committees. I finally would like to congratulate the member from Edmonton Manning for her interesting election to the role. I know she will perform her duties to the best traditions of honour and impartiality in this House. I come to this legislature from a 34-year career as a social worker in the City of Edmonton. That work has inextricably led to my journey to this House. But before I speak to how the values of that profession and my experience with thousands of Albertans seeking to improve their lives has shaped the work I intend to pursue in my role in this House, I would like to tell you about the family that shaped me in my growing years and the family that has sustained me with love and affection for the last 56 years. My parents came to this great city in 1954 from Saskatoon, where my father had earned both his Bachelor of Arts and his law degree, and my mother had earned a Bachelor of Arts and subsequently a Bachelor of Social Work from the University of Manitoba. Once they came to Alberta, they adopted their new province with a zeal that was breathtaking. They raised 7 children, all of whom went on to university, earning 15 degrees between them. My father served on the Edmonton Catholic School Board and unsuccessfully ran for the provincial Liberal Party in 1967. He was appointed a judge of the District Court of Northern Alberta in 1973, the District Court of Alberta in 1975, the Supreme Court of the Yukon in 1978, the Supreme Court of the Northwest Territories in 1979, and from 1979 to 2003 was a Justice of the Court of Queen's Bench of Alberta. My mother, who completed a Master's of Social Work degree from the University of Calgary after raising all 7 children, served as the chair of the MacEwan University Department of Social Work and has received numerous awards, including the YMCA Women of Distinction and an honorary doctorate from St. Stephen's College at the University of Alberta for her work on more than 20 boards and commissions in the City of Edmonton. From these two, my loving parents, I received many gifts. I have benefited from all the bounty that Albertans all hope their children will enjoy. But perhaps, more importantly, they taught me that not everyone was as lucky as me to win the lottery of kind, generous, hardworking parents. Indeed, my father and mother bequeathed to me something much more important than the trappings of my education and career success. They taught me that nothing matters so much as who you are as a person, how you live your life, not acquiring, but giving, not being solely concerned with success, but finding a way to participate in the injunction to bring justice to this world. It is said of my family that the children were served politics and pablum from the same spoon, much as the young man beside me today. The words and indeed the actions my parents lived by enabled me to see the need to embrace the world with both the open arms and the firm grip of social justice. Taking that lesson to heart, I entered my career of social work with the belief that all people were deserving of the opportunity to achieve, to contribute, and to love, but knowing as well that there were many barriers that prevented people from achieving, from contributing, and from loving or being loved. Fortunately for me, my early career as a child welfare worker for the province of Alberta led me to pursue a master's degree at Wilfrid Laurier University, where I met a wonderful person who would teach me and push me and love me. Into a deeper understanding of social justice, an understanding of the nature of equal relationships, and the role of critical feminist analysis in transforming our exquisite humanness into personal and social transformation, my wife, Kathleen, who is in the gallery. Together, we have raised our children, Antoine, Kate, and Brendan, and have endeavored to build upon my parents' gifts of love and justice in our desire to be a part of the eternal historical movement toward a fair society. Without Kathleen and my children, I would not be here. I would not have the passion in my heart, and apparently the tears in my eyes, and the determination in soul to make this opportunity of being an MLA everything that it should be. This brings me now to the throne speech that reminds us Albertans are an optimistic, entrepreneurial, can-do people, and Albertans are community-minded, caring, and neighborly. Ours is a society of friends. We have each other's backs. We support each other in these times instead of making a bad situation worse. That we are people who dream no little dreams, who wish for ourselves only what we desire for all: freedom from poverty, freedom from violence, and freedom from discrimination. We seek reconciliation with our First Peoples, opportunity for our children, and a prosperous, entrepreneurial, diversified economy in which everyone will share. Our expectations are high, and our ability to achieve them is even higher. We have been blessed in this province with exceptional people, unmatched resources, and a political system dedicated to uplifting the whole people. Reflect for a moment on those words, uplifting the whole people, spoken by Henry Marshall Torrey, the first president of the University of Alberta. He does not say for the benefit of the fortunate few, or for those with a genetic gift of intelligence or good looks or opportunity based on family or race or religion. He reminds us that the focus of whatever we do is the whole people. We have accomplished little if some of us can afford good homes in wonderful communities like Edmonton, Rutherford, but others cannot. If some of us can expect to live healthy lives well into our senior years while others cannot. If some of us reap the benefits of living in the best place in the world if others cannot. Now, I know that everyone in this house shares my belief. This belief that what we want for ourselves, we also want for others. For the first session, I sat on the side of the House with the members of the opposition, and I've come to respect them for who they are as compassionate men and women, the common values we share, and the obvious fact that they are good people with good hearts, just as I strive to be. But there is a place where our paths diverge, a place where my 34 years as a social worker has led me to believe some things differently than the members across the way. Simply wanting people to have a share in the benefits of society is not enough. The structures of society have to exist in a manner that invites and, whenever possible, ensures real opportunity and the strengths and resources to enable a true ability to utilize those opportunities. Believing that individuals succeed individually is inconsistent with the lived experience of most of us. Every member of this legislature arrived here not because of their individual effort, but because of the contributions of hundreds of others. People who donated significant amounts of money, people who answered phones, people who put up signs, people who knocked on doors and delivered flyers. Of course, our individual efforts were important, but the greatest MLA could not be an MLA unless the systems and structures of democracy were made available by a community of people with a common purpose. We can celebrate the fact that Alberta is a land rich with opportunity, but we need to understand that the opportunities are not evenly available. When we look at this House, we see only one party with gender parity in candidates and in elected officials. Throughout Canada, we see that women represent only 25 to 30% of most legislatures. We can choose to believe that women fail to have the individual qualities to get themselves elected, or more correctly, we can realize that women face a number of barriers that men do not face. Women are met more frequently with behaviors and attitudes inconsistent with their own way of being. They are less frequently on the minds of decision makers to be considered for leadership roles, and they face systematic devaluation of their achievements. In social work, we call these structural barriers, not barriers intrinsic to the individual, but barriers that are ingrained in the order of things around them. Because these barriers exist outside of the individual, they need to be eliminated at the structural level, not at the individual level. We can achieve gender parity in this House not by hoping somehow that individual women will find the courage to face the odds, but by changing those odds, making them even. We know that without government, some individuals will do well, and we can say, see, the individual exceeds on their own merits. But any analysis will tell you that the success of those individuals isn't random. It isn't based simply on individual merits, but on many structural invitations. Those factors in the order of things that make success more likely, that invite some people to exceed more frequently than others. We know that you are more likely to attend university if your parents are university educated. We know that you are more likely to save adequately for your retirement if savings are deducted from your paycheck. Unfortunately, we all know that these structural invitations can be negative ones. We know that if you are raised in poverty, you are more likely to experience periods of poverty in adulthood. And if you are anything other than a white male, you are less likely to get elected into the Alberta legislature. The response to structural problems is structural. We have a healthy nation when we have a systematic, universally accessible health care. We have safe working environments when we have systematic worker protections and consistent external inspections. We have equal workforce participation by women when we have affordable, accessible daycare. All of these things are achievable, not through isolated individual effort, but through social cooperation, a belief in the value of all people, and the creation of societal structures that invite success for everyone. While some others decry government as an imposition on the citizens of this province, I celebrate government as the fruit of collective community action. I know I have not succeeded alone, and I know that most people cannot succeed as isolated individuals. I succeed in cooperation with my family, my community of Edmonton, Rutherford, and with the vision and values of the new democratic government. I look forward to a government that understands its role as the voice of common people, not a special interest group. A government that actively seeks to remove barriers and to increase positive invitations for success. A government that I can believe in with all my heart and soul, and to that end I will dedicate my tenure in this House to those pieces of legislation that make possible the circumstances of success. A focus on a stable, dependable economy without devastating cycles of boom or bust. A focus on establishing a new industry of renewable energy that meets our needs for economic growth while preserving the integrity of our cherished lands, air, and waterways. And I will focus on creating those structures that invite the success of our children, that ensure to every extent possible that each child receives the safety and security needed to move forward into the world where they may find their success in a community among others doing the same thing. Thank you.